Hey, my name is Paul, and I'm successful at 34 and have lots of friends. Is not true. In fact, it is the opposite of true, other than the fact that I'm 34 years old. That's true, but I really am the opposite of successful, and I really am the opposite of having lots of friends. I barely meet my friends, plus I am unemployed at 34, living with my mom still. But I'm doing this title as a reaction to one of my new favorite creators, Eno from Korea. He's only posted 4 videos on this English channel of his, although he said he's had a Korean YouTube channel in the past. Let me just read you out the video titles. I'm a failed Korean man at 36, feeling lost in my 30s, what to do when you feel like doing nothing, and I have no friends, and why it's okay. Particularly this last video, I have no friends and why it's okay. It was a beautiful video of what he does when he's alone in Busan, South Korea, where he is living now, just going to the beach at night or going to the gym. And it was something that both me and people in my Discord server really enjoyed. And he's booming just with 4 videos, already 2,000 subscribers. He's just skyrocketing in terms of a new YouTuber. It's crazy. And the reason I titled the opposite of his video titles, if he's a failure at 36, I say successful at 34. He says I have no friends, I said I have lots of friends. This is a test for a future video I'm making to see that there's a trend that I've noticed on YouTube of negativity in titles, especially for small creators, just skyrockets that creator, just like Eno from Korea. And I wanted to see if the opposite would indeed be a crash in terms of exposure, view count, all that. And well, it's actually not the best test, because this I'm successful at 34 and have lots of friends is kind of a braggy title, not just positivity. But I'm betting people would rather see someone who's lost and has no friends and a failure at 36 than someone who is successful and has lots of friends at similar to that age. So this is for a future video, this title experimentation. But I want to comment on Eno, this guy having had built a business, and even though it's a failed business now because he's in the translation business and AI is really making all translation businesses fail at this point. He's built a business and he was successful in his business for a time being. He was traveling the world. He knows 4 languages. I think it's English, Korean, Spanish, and Portuguese. I think that's what he speaks. He has so much more experience than most people maybe ever get in a lifetime in terms of traveling by oneself, learning about oneself. I think doing stuff like that, you learn about yourself way more than someone like me, who's just indoors all the time for decades now, has ever learned about myself. Actually, I don't know if that's true, because I do introspect and read and also reflect on things. But I think he's had a wealth of experience that I don't have. Me being, I've had a kind of a different experience from most people, being in and out of the psych ward for my bipolar disorder throughout my 20s, and then years of depression following with each successive episode. I've had, you can't really compare individuals to other individuals, because just the experiences are so different. So even though we're similar in age, he's maybe 2 years older than me, 36, and I'm 34. I'm turning 35 later this year, so maybe we're a year and a half difference in age. But he's had a boom and then a crash, right? He's had a boom of business success and then a huge crash, and now he's starting close to ground zero. And for me, I've had crash, and then a rise to normalcy, of just, I'm happy. Like I've said this in previous videos, but I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. as far as I can tell, at being unemployed at 34 years old, because I've had so many crashes in the past in my 20s that I'm just happy that I'm healthy and not feeling like shit, and that I can function normally, and that I have freedom. I'm not locked up somewhere. I'm not like I have so many things to be thankful for, of just being able to live a boring day-to-day life, and so we can be at a similar age, and me and and we can be in a somewhat similar situation. I mean, he's not living with his parents, but still, I guess his business has failed, and he has to figure out his future. But and that's similar to me in terms of what I have to figure out for my future. But similar age, similar situation, drastically different, right? Our past is drastically different. Our happiness level is drastically different. It's like, in terms of emotional, like, he was booming while I was crashing, and then he's crashing, and I'm happy to be back in normal. And we're at a very different place despite somewhat similar situations, emotionally, mentally, all that. There's a mix of I'm happy to see him do well as envy of like, wow, he's exploding on YouTube and my growth is very slow and steady, which I'm happy that I am still growing slowly and steadily. It's just, he's going this exponential curve trajectory, and I'm doing this really slow climb turtle trajectory. So there's a mix of feeling happy for him and feeling envious that he's growing so much faster in terms of view count and subscribers. And it's just a natural feeling that one gets when you see someone maybe in a similar situation do way better at something that you're doing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what he puts out next, and to see where he goes from here. I guess the follow-up video will be testing positive titles versus negative titles or something along that line, because I'll find out the results of this video. So let's see how this does, and I'll make a follow-up video to that. 1% better every day, baby. Mochi. She's begging. She wants treats or something. I just gave her food. But look at Muffin. And Mochi. So cute, Muffin. Muffin and Tigger playing with the shoestring.